Hi there, and welcome to Modern Firm Practices show for this week. I'm Brad Turville, and we're looking at lifestyle design for you and what is it that you actually want? How do you want your weeks to look? What do your finances need to look like? And what does the controls and the boundaries around your time need to look like? And for that to happen, we need to have the firm, we need your business to be serving you. So ask yourself the question, am I currently serving the business or is the business serving me? And it comes down to getting clear on what it is actually that you want and getting clear on maybe some of the things that you don't want. But to make that happen, to make change happen and to move towards the things that you want, you're going to have to do something about it. And the question then is, what are you going to do? It's not going to happen if you don't do anything. And unfortunately, there's no knight in shining armor that's just going to come along and save the day. You need to take the first step. And you also need to remember that it's progress, not perfection. It's something very important to keep in mind. It's just taking that first step, and it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, there's no expectation that it has to be perfect. That is completely in your mind. You might need to make some change to your business model. You might need to get some more clients. You might need to increase the number of services your clients are buying from you. And you might need to increase the average project size that a client engages from you. That then really looks at pricing, and generally I see in firms pricing needs to go up. So we're looking at, where do you want to be personally? So from a lifestyle perspective, do you only want to work 4 days a week? Do you want to have the middle of the day off to go running? Like, that's actually what I do. Do you want to be able to take a day off anytime you want? Do you want to set some boundaries around certain times? Do you want to pick the kids up from school? It doesn't matter what it is. Do you want to, is there a certain amount you need to pay yourself? And is the business doing that? Or is the business doing that contingent? So you might be thinking, well, hang on, I get paid pretty good, but I'm tied to the business. I'm stressed. I'm working 60 hour, 70 hour, crazy weeks. So it's a very lopsided seesaw. And so how can we put some things in place to bring it back into alignment? So it's starting to align to the lifestyle you want, and it is now starting to serve you. So some things you might need to look at. Well, it starts with getting clear on what do things need to look like for you. That can change over time, but we need to start and say, right, this is how it currently is. Are you 100%, can you guarantee, confident, look me in the eye and say everything is perfect? If the answer is no, okay, which areas and what's the difference? Something's here, you want it to be there. Something's there and you want it to be here. Go through and document those things. And then we need to reflect on what changes and processes and habits can we influence to bring it into alignment with where you want it. You might need to make some changes you've never made before. You might need to delegate and hand off some stuff you've never done before. You might need to invest in some people and some coaching and some training that you've never done before. All of that's completely okay. It just might be the first time for it. You might need to hand off client relationships. You might just have the weight of everything on your shoulders. You manage every client relationship and all the new clients that come in and so on and so forth. So the first thing there would be looking to hand off client relationships to, your client manager and really empowering them, getting more of the team to do more, even if they're juniors or intermediates, really delegating responsibility and, encouraging a culture of them to stand up and get involved early on. What you'll find is, of those getting a certain financial result and getting some more control around your time, it's actually the time one we need to get right. Because once we can get that right, if you want to grow the business, we need to free up your time. If you want to go and do some things outside of the business with the family, personally, we need to free up your time. If you want to sell the business and you don't want it to be overly reliant on you, we need to free up your time. It always is going to lead back to that. You might need to increase your prices. In fact, I'm confident that it's definitely going to be the case. There will be some areas where an alternate pricing strategy will be more beneficial for everyone. But even just overall, prices may and probably do need to go up. You might need to find some ideal clients. That might play into helping you achieve what it is that you want. So that really starts with, what do ideal clients look like for you? And you might need to fire some clients. You might even need to fire some team members. In fact, with every accounting firm that I coach, except one, I have recommended that they rehome someone that works for them. It's actually been most of them have been accountants that they need to rehome. And that's usually their first project. They already know they're underperforming. They already know they're sort of the bad egg, or they're disrupting the team, or they're not giving clients amazing results or experience, and it's just not working out. And that's fine. That's just how it is. And they know they've needed to do it, but until they've sort of got a bit of accountability and a bit of a push and a nudge, not only from me, but from the group, then it has actually happened. And then what happens? They're able to find someone absolutely amazing to come in and fill their space. And now that problem can be put to rest, and they can focus on the next challenge ahead. So you might need to get rid of some clients, free up space. You might need to get rid of team members to free up space. What can you then do with that space? Well, with those non-ideal clients, you can now fill it with ideal clients. With that team member there might be a cultural fit, there might be a performance issue, it might be an attitude, it could be a range of things. You are freeing up space for a great person to come on that fits the values, fits the vision. They've got the skills that you want. You're just putting the right ingredients back in. You might need to employ a marketing person. You might be feeling the weight of all of that. You might be doing all of that. You might not even be doing a very good job of it, or you're spending a lot of time for not good results. Great. Why? Employ a marketing resource. Nearly every other industry employs a marketing resource, but rarely do you see it in the accounting professions. Outsource. If you need to free up time, then look to outsource. It could be administration, it could be back-end bookkeeping, it could be tax and reporting compliance. That is an option that can plug in and give you additional capacity. If you're a bigger, fast-growing firm, you might need to hire a CEO. That actually may be a decision that you need to play with and look at and decide, if I'm to get some time back and I'm to remove myself, if that's what you want, then what am I going to do with all these tasks and responsibilities? Well, that might actually be a CEO position description right there. I know it sounds like a big, crazy idea, but if you're currently already doing it and there's certain things you want to do and you need to hand off, there might be someone, that might be the actual role that needs to be handed off. Secondly, perhaps bringing in a CEO may bring some strengths to your weaknesses. They may already be experienced. They might have been there, done it before. They might be able to take the firm or the business to another level that you haven't been able to do before. And the only reason you haven't handed it off is maybe it's ego. That's completely fine. You've grown the business to where it is. It's now starting to hit a point where you need to hand it off. You need to hand off your baby. You need to hand off this thing that you've got a lot of brand and ego around that really has got a lot of your identity in it. That's part of the journey. And so it's being able to step back and look at, what is it that I want? And is everything I'm doing playing into achieving that? So am I optimizing for the things that I want? And you might have some conflicts in there. So also look at the long term, okay? I see a lot of people getting to the end of their tether when they want to get out of their practice, and it's a lot more work for perhaps not the price that they want, or even if they do get quite a good price for the firm, they haven't accumulated what they would have liked to that point in their life. So the question you need to think at looking longer term is, do I want to have a cash flow lifestyle business? which is very much achievable in the accounting industry, that's highly profitable with very good cash flows. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull those cash flows from the business, not to strangle it, but to pull all the excess, of which there can be heaps. And I'm then going to invest it in personal growth assets to secure and build my wealth over time. So when it gets to that point when I want out, or the team want to take over, or I need to make an exit for an unplanned event, or whatever situation pops up, you're able to get out. And you might still get a good price for it, but that's just cream on top for everything that you've built over time. I find that question there of looking longer term and deciding, am I relying on a big sale price of this firm one day or not? And the second question is, what is the probability of that happening smoothly for the price that I want? Or is perhaps more of a cash flow model more appropriate and maybe a safer option for me? Both food for thought, are either or not going to apply to everyone, but it's just getting that thinking forward and looking longer term. And hey, longer term for you might be 20 years, 30 years. It is worth thinking about and considering. If you would like some help on getting clear on this, setting your plan and your goals, identifying what levers to pull to get some of the results that you want, perhaps someone to keep you accountable and to crack the whip, it sounds like then you might need some Modern Firm practices. Please reach out to me. That's what I would recommend. Until next week, I'm Brad Turville, and this has been Modern Firm Practices.